Welcome to 49ers After Dark. We're your hosts, Cohn, Jessie Naylor. Really a pleasure to see you guys. Jesse, it's great to see you, man. You're looking great. I'm really excited for this show. How are things?
Hey, things are good. They could be better. We'll talk about that later. But you know what? I am happy to be doing 49ers After Dark, and things
Me
could
too.
always be worse. So that's why I got the hat on. I feel blessed, Grant. I feel blessed.
So do I. So do I. I've been going through some stuff too. We'll talk about it one day. Let's talk about the title of the show is Who Will Start at Quarterback Against the Cardinals. But like you can't just lead off with that. That's too juicy. So we're going to build up to it. There's going to be a natural progression. We're going to start off by looking back at the previous loss, and we're going to start positive. Two encouraging takeaways from that pretty dismal loss to the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, for me, Grant, I looked at that game and just really the season as a whole, right? When Verrett went down, we thought it was the end of the world with the secondary. And they played pretty decent against the Eagles and then looked really bad again against Green Bay Packers. But I really thought that the secondary looked good. I thought the defense as a whole, Grant, looked really good. And that's one of the things that we were worried about as things started to kind of fall apart is this defense good enough to keep them in games? And I feel like we've got a resounding answer. And that answer is absolutely yes, they are. The other thing is the run game. What's going to happen to the run game? And you've had so many injuries. It looked really bad against Green Bay. That's a team you should have been able to run the ball against, and they were unable to do so. But they were able to run the ball this last week. And Trey Lance, if he plays, certainly can aid that. But even if he doesn't play, Sermon looked much better. Mitchell's probably on his way back. And Patrick, albeit, in very limited role, he looks decent too. So I feel like the 49ers can run the ball, and I feel like they can play defense. And that's what we thought they would be when the season started. And I'm starting to see both of those things come back and materialize again in front of our eyes. And for a long run, I think that that's encouraging.
Agree. I mean, the defense is very encouraging. It kicked the shit out of the Seahawks. I'm sorry. I was trying to find like another way to put that, but they kicked the shit out of the Seahawks offense for 25 minutes. And the offense, the Jimmy Garoppolo offense, not Jimmy Garoppolo, but the Jimmy Garoppolo offense didn't really put the game away like it should have. And you saw what happened. So the defense is definitely encouraging. I want to say that the Trey Lance offense was encouraging. Not just Trey Lance, because there were some good and some bad. I mean, he's at this point, you really can't even call him a quarterback at this point, but he's a hell of an athlete. I was a little worried in preseason watching him take those sacks. Like, dude, like, are you not even going to scramble? What is going on? No, he will. And he's a hell of an athlete. And that one play where he was scrambling left stock, came back right through. Like, you remember that? Was it Deebo that he hit? I think, or was it Sanu? Anyway.
Well, it was Deebo, the one where he had Sermon on the rollout and then he cut back and just threw it across his body. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I think all that's encouraging. And like the fact that the offense is basically chaos with Lance on the field because he's so new. But that chaos, honestly, if I were a defensive coordinator, I don't want that chaos. I don't want to face that chaos. It makes me very reactive and it puts me on my heels. Whereas when Jimmy's on the field, I'm teeing off. I'm attacking. I know what he does, what he doesn't do, and I'm attacking. With Trey, it's like, oh, damn. I don't know what they like to call. I don't know what this offense is. He's not turning the ball over. And even when he misses a read, he scrambles for 6 yards. It's very demoralizing. And I think it's encouraging that that's what he could do with no game plan, no preparation. Well, he could be a lot better if he actually gets the starters reps, which he's getting right now.
Yeah, and that's adjective that I use to describe Trey Lance. As soon as I saw it play out, I said, I'm not going to pretend like it was pretty or perfect, but what I will say is this offense definitely had life injected into it, and it was encouraging.
6.8 yards per play with Trey Lance in the game, 5.9 with Jimmy Garoppolo. 5.9 is good.
It's good,
6.8 is great. And what's also nice about that, 5.1 yards per carry with Lance in the game, 4.7 with Jimmy. And there's a reason why. Let's be real specific. That backside defensive end when he's under center on the stretch plays, when he's in the gun on the zone read, he's blocking that guy with his athleticism. That guy is more nervous about Trey Lance keeping the ball and bootlegging towards him than stopping the run. So all of a sudden he's frozen. And he wouldn't be frozen like that against Jimmy Garoppolo because there's no threat of a bootleg. So he has an overall net positive impact on the offense, plus the fact that he doesn't turn the ball over. I mean, at least he didn't in this game and didn't in college. That's a nice addition too. Plus the scrambling. I like scrambles. Scrambles are good.
I do too. And that's the thing, right? I think a lot of people expect it to look differently, and maybe Kyle's in that camp, but it doesn't have to look good as long as it's effective. And the ball moves when Trey Lance was in the game.
Thank you, Tommy. We're going to talk about that later.
Yeah,
he will. Thank you. Gammon says, take off the hat so we can see the hairdo. What? That's a nice hairdo too, but let him keep the hat on, man. I like that hat. All right, let's move on. This was interesting. All offseason, we talked about Stephon Gilmore, how really it's a perfect fit for the 49ers. He wanted out. The Niners need a corner. This could come down to the deadline, but it didn't. Now he's on Carolina. Right. Carolina made the move. Carolina's been very proactive.
Talk about a team that's all in.
Quick, Shanahan was asked today, like, why didn't you get Gilmore? He was like, well, we were, we pursued it. We did. So they did. They said they did. But you know how the Niners are, like, close but no cigar a lot of times.
Yeah.
What do you think? Should they have – it cost a 6th-round pick?
Next year 6, not even this year.
What do you think?
It was a next year 6. They could have given this year 6. Listen, I think that they could have made it happen. They would have had to move some money around the books. I think ultimately, though, it's the right move not to pursue him. I think, this team is not a Super Bowl team. And Gilmore is the exact mold of everything that you and I have criticized about this team, Grant. He's an older veteran.
That's true.
Who is injured, coming off of an injury, and he costs a lot of money. Those are all 3 things that we would have killed him for if it was anybody else, right? So
it's true, man.
I think
honestly, when you put it that way, I'm like, you know what? Have fun, Carolina. Good luck. Yeah. I was driving down to Santa Clara today. I was listening to Jim Rome, something I don't do very often, and he was flipping out about this Stephon Gilmore thing. And he was like, this guy is the greatest player when healthy. And whenever I hear those 2 words, I'm like, I'm out. I'm out. I am out. I don't want to hear it.
It doesn't fit.
Like, he was good 2 years ago. How old is he? He's 31. He's a corner. He's had injury issues. I'm out. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what are we really expecting here? When healthy, dude? When 26 is what you're trying to say. When 26, he's a baller. It's unfortunately he's 31 now.
Yeah. So I think in hindsight, it's probably a good move. But I also like it for Carolina.
Asante Samuel Jr., not Asante Samuel Sr. They should have Stephon Gilmore Jr. That's who they should have.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I do like it for Carolina. I thought it was a great move for them.
Right, they're a young team. They can handle something like that. Absolutely. Yeah. But I get the Niners not going after him. I mean, I don't think you fix the cornerback problem in October. This is a problem you fix it.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
April. All right. Shanahan's get out of jail free card. Can you explain this one?
Yeah. So we talked about it after the Green Bay game when Jimmy struggled in the first half, right? And I said that was the one opportunity you had to put Trey Lance in the second half and still go back to Jimmy. All you had to say was you needed to inject some life in the offense. You wanted to try something different. Mm-hmm. Jimmy's still the guy. He's going to be our starter. Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like that same scenario has presented itself, but now for a whole game. Mm-hmm. So do you have an echo on your end? Are you hearing that?
No, I'm not hearing an echo at all.
Okay. All right. I don't know if anybody in the chat is. I'm hearing a little echo. It's all good. But yeah, so basically now we have a situation where he has a get out of jail free card here. Jimmy is injured, right? Hurt, injured, whatever. And with that being said, if he plays Trey this week, he can play the injury card and say, listen, Jimmy wasn't quite ready. He's still our starter. And if it looks really good, then Trey's your guy. If it doesn't look so good and you're not comfortable with it coming out of the bye, you can say Jimmy was always your starter. Like, this is the perfect scenario to get Trey in for a free game, figure out what it looks like, and ultimately make a decision on who you want to start the rest of the season. And I think he has to take advantage of it.
Well, that's exactly what I see happening here. Let me. This is going to be a topic later. Let's do it now. Like, Trey's going to start this game. Trey Lance is going to start this game. I feel very confident about that. And it's not Kyle's been very clear. He hasn't tried to bring in Trey when Jimmy's struggling or when the offense is struggling, because he's trying to not make it like a referendum on Jimmy or like a quarterback competition. Jimmy's injured.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
And Kyle's trying to make it seem like, well, if Jimmy's healthy, we're going to go with him. Right. Because he's the starter. And that's how you would act with the starter. But he's not healthy. And when you talk to Jimmy, he'll tell you, he was like, yeah, like, it really hurts. And if I play this weekend, like, I won't be 100%. Why would you play a 900% Jimmy? You won't. He's not going to start. Trey's going to start. But the way they're going to couch it, I don't know if that's the word, is this is not a reflection on Jimmy. He's just hurt.
Yeah.
We can't start Jimmy. We would start Jimmy. So we're starting our backup quarterback. And if he happens to do great, then we got the bye week and we'll see where we go from there. If he does great, my prediction is Jimmy's calf injury is going to be hurting a little bit for a little while. If he doesn't do great, I'm thinking that calf's going to be just fine after the bye week. And they'll be like, well, Jimmy's better. He's back. Like, we never benched him. Like, he was just hurt. That's an easy way. It's exactly what Jim Harbaugh did with Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick. He never made a decision. He never like split the locker room. He was like, look, Alex is hurt, so we got to start Colin. And it's like, oh, Colin played great, so we're going to keep it going. Oh, he was really good again. And at a certain point, like, no one really cares that Alex Smith is gone. No one really cares. So this is Trey Lance's opportunity. And he may not do what Colin Kaepernick did. Remember, Colin Kaepernick was like 24 at that point.
Right.
He'd been in the league. Trey Lance is more gifted than Colin. He could. But we'll see. It's going to be really exciting. But this is what's at stake. This is Trey Lance's opportunity. He could take it right here, or he could show that he's not ready, and Jimmy could come back after the bye week.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't know, though, Grant. I'm not sold and have near as much conviction you do that Trey's going to start. If Jimmy is 80%, I feel like Kyle's going to run him out there. You don't think so?
No,
okay,
absolutely not.
I hope you're right.
Here's why. They're going to lose this weekend. I'm sorry. They're going to lose this weekend one way or another. Most likely. Not that they're going to lose. They're underdogs this weekend, no matter who they start at quarterback, right? This is the undefeated Arizona Cardinals. Jimmy goes out there 75%. He can't move. He could get hurt worse. He could get his trade value, whatever value he has, could go down. He could have a really, really, really bad game. It's a good time to say, you know what? He's not healthy. Let's sit him down and give Trey Lance a shot, especially if you're skeptical on Lance. Hey, go get him, Rook. It's the Arizona Cardinals. Let's see what you got. It keeps Jimmy alive. Because if Jimmy goes out and plays this weekend, it's not going to be good. Dude. This is a much better defense than what Seattle brought to Santa Clara. That was a crap defense. No offense to crap defense, but that was a crap defense. And they made it look great. Like, this is a serious freaking defense. Chandler Jones, J.J. Watt, they're not messing around. They could hurt somebody.
Especially if Trent's not able to play. My gosh, man.
Yeah. So this is high stakes. I don't think they're going to put Jimmy anywhere. I don't think Jimmy wants any part of it. They keep what's funny too is Kyle's like, man, it's just a bruise. Kyle's like, Jimmy's like, it's a strain. That's a whole lot different, because when it's a bruise, you're thinking like, it's just pain. Like, you should be able to play through it. If it's a strain, you could make that a lot worse. It could be a tear. It could be an Achilles.
Yep.
The way he made it sound like he was nervous about his Achilles, honestly, that his foot got planted in the ground and someone, Kerry Hyder, pressed his knee into his calf. Kyle, you need to stop talking like that too. Jim Harbaugh always would say, I'm not in this player's bodies. I'm not talking about their injuries. Kyle freely does it. It's a bruise.
Yeah, he does.
It's a contusion.
Yeah, he does.
Dude, it's not your injury. He disagrees. Jimmy disagrees. He says it's a strain. Why are you arguing with Jimmy about his injury? Harbaugh would never do it. Ever.
He wouldn't. Ever. You're right. But I don't care. It's a contusion. If you look at the play when it happened, Hyder literally just knees him in the calf. Like, that's not a strain. He doesn't step on his foot. It looks like a knee, whatever.
I'm not in Jimmy's body. Only Jimmy.
That's what you say as a coach.
But look, just talking to Jimmy, I asked him to his face, Jimmy, if you play this weekend, is there any possibility you could be 100% healthy? He's like, no, I'd be battling through it and it hurts. He doesn't sound like a guy who's eager to play this weekend because he knows, dude, it's the Cardinals, man. It's going to be bad. If Trey plays this weekend, good luck, dude. I mean, I like Trey Lance, but it would have been a lot better to have him have his first start be against Detroit. Arizona?
Yep.
Okay. All right, man. Well, we'll see.
With no Trent Williams, probably.
He really could, man. Because there's an element of surprise here, but damn, it couldn't get any harder.
Yeah, seriously, you're right. Yeah. I'm just worried about the Trent Williams thing, too. I don't think he's playing.
Oh, yeah. How about now go against the Arizona Cardinals with Jalen Moore at left tackle. Go get him. Hey, at least he can protect himself.
That's
Jimmy
true.
Garoppolo,
That's true.
Trey Lance gives him the best chance to win this week, one way or another. Gammon says, why does Kyle Shanahan get to parade around Niners facilities just like the Emperor's New Clothes book? Grant, you got soft. You used to call out Jed. Jed is top of the pyramid, not Kyle Shanahan. Hold Jed more accountable.
Well, how's he going to do that, though?
Man, that was rough. All right. Well, how do you know that Jed York isn't going to fire Kyle at the end of the year if he misses the playoffs? How do we know? Maybe Jed's got more. Give Jed some credit here. All right.
He's got some chutzpah.
Let's say Jimmy Garoppolo starts this game and plays bad. What happens?
Okay, I feel like this could be worst case scenario for Shanahan. And I'm not talking about this season because I feel like no matter who plays, they're probably not going to win this game. That's most likely. But if Jimmy plays and looks really bad, what happens next is a bye week. And players now have free time to be on social media, to have interviews happen, and things start to slip. So if there is a group of players that want Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't look good, they may freely talk about some of that. And now all of a sudden you come back after the bye week and players have let some things be known that you did not want out there, and it can cause a lot of division. And that's what I'm worried about. I don't think that there's really a chance that division happens if Trey starts and plays good, because Kyle's always said that we will all know when he's ready. Well, if he starts and plays good, then everybody knows he's ready. But if Garoppolo starts and plays bad, there's a group of players that are like, listen, he was hurt. Why'd you roll him out there? And we've been wanting Trey the whole time. I just think that it could be really, really bad for Kyle's reputation and keeping this locker room together.
That makes sense. I also think it's just a worst case scenario because from Kyle's perspective, he doesn't want to go to Trey Lance because Jimmy sucks.
Right.
He wants to go to Trey Lance because Trey's a baller.
Yes.
And takes the decision out of his hands. So if, again, this is another reason that they shouldn't and won't play Jimmy Garoppolo this weekend. You put him out there at 75% against a really good team, what should you expect? Right. He's going to struggle. And now you're putting yourself in a position where the fans are going to demand Trey Lance. And that's what he's avoiding. He's avoiding having the decision taken out of his hands and having it be like, well, now I have to start Trey Lance, even though I'm watching Trey Lance in practice and the fans aren't, and I know and they don't, and this is a decision that's now taken out of my hand. I don't want that to happen. So what he can do now is start Lance this week, okay? And if Lance struggles, then you could say, well, he was just filling in. It was just a spot start. He's young. We're going back to Jimmy. But if he does really well, then it's so much easier of a transition. It doesn't make Jimmy look bad. It preserves Jimmy's trade value. He had a really good season. He had one bad game against the Seahawks when he got hurt. It's just cleaner. It's cleaner. Start Trey.
It is cleaner. It is cleaner.
And if he struggles, it's okay. If he plays great, that's great. If Jimmy plays and struggles, that's a disaster. And it's going to happen because either quarterback's going to – it's a very good opponent. You have to expect either quarterback to struggle. Who would you be more okay with struggling in this game? Trey.
Of course you would. Yes.
Trey. And if he happens to go out there and pull a Kaepernick and just dust him like Kaepernick dusted the Bears, thank you. That's the best thing that could happen to the organization. But Trey has to do that. And he's going to get the opportunity, I think.
Do you think the
May not.
49ers are really trying to preserve some trade value for Jimmy still? You think they're holding on to that hope?
Again, I think they're trying to buy. No, I think they're trying to buy Trey time. I think that Kyle's very conservative and very apprehensive, and he's nervous about Trey really stinking it up because I make him look bad.
Yeah.
So if Trey can go out there and just eviscerate Arizona and win the game, that just makes everything so easy for everyone. But if it doesn't happen that way and he really isn't ready, then you can be like, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. We don't need him to be ready. Like that wasn't the plan. Like this is like we're slow playing him. He's all going according to plan. Jimmy's back. He's healthy. It just makes it makes the organization feel like they're on top of things. All of a sudden, you're wildly, desperately turning to Trey when he's not ready, and that could be, that could be what's happening. I think he's trying to avoid that, and I just feel like he's trying to follow the Jim Harbaugh playbook from 10 years ago.
Yeah,
pretty much.
But he's following the Nagy playbook, unfortunately. So he's trying, but it's not really working, in my opinion.
Well, we'll see. If Lance starts this weekend and he plays well against Arizona and wins, you'll never see Jimmy Garoppolo ever again. It's over.
Yeah.
But if he goes out and completes 40% of his throws and throws 3 picks, we'll probably see Jimmy after the bye week, for better or for worse. See how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it me? But Deebo is openly showing his side now. He sees what you saw Grant in camp. Just saying. I saw the same thing. That was pretty clear.
Yeah, Deebo's been Team Lance the whole time. I think that's actually been really clear. I mean, that preseason touchdown, the way that he reacted on that first throw, I knew right away, Deebo is a Lance guy.
How can you evaluate a player running a scout team offense? I don't get that. You can't. So now he's actually running the actual offense, and they'll be able to evaluate him. Tony says, doesn't make sense to pump Jimmy's trade value from maybe a 5th to a 4th and risk souring on investment of 3 firsts in the land. No, I think, again, this is Kyle worrying that Trey Lance is going to look terrible. And maybe he's a little too apprehensive here. Maybe Lance's athletic instincts will just take over in a game setting and he'll be great. But if Lance goes out, starts and plays well, Kyle's not going to be mad. Kyle's going to be very, very, very happy. And that's the best case scenario. But I don't know that that's going to happen. This is like Kaepernick went out and stole the job from Alex Smith playing against a bad Bears team. Who the hell was on that Bears team? No one. This is a different thing. He's going against the MVP front runner, the division leader. I mean, this is a whole different thing. He could lose the game and play well and take the job. You know what I mean? Like, this is a whole different bar here. These are the Arizona Cardinals.
The Cardinals right now are the best team in the NFL. They're the only remaining undefeated team, and they are at home. Yeah. The MVP of the league. It's yes.
No offense to Patrick Mahomes, but Kyler Murray can do all that stuff.
Yes.
Plus more. Whichever team loses the Aaron Rodgers Derby this offseason will give the Niners a 5th-round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo. What if the Niners lose the Aaron Rodgers Derby and then a 5th-round pick? Oh man, I can't wait. That's Christmas. Jimmy is a diva. He sat up in that luxury box last year, laughing it up, not worried about his job. Now he has a 6'4" mobile cannon arm problem. Dang, easy Tino.
He also sat up in that press box with no Niner gear on.
It's true. If Kyle said that, if Jimmy G can't go by Wednesday, he will put in a plan for Trey. Why is he waiting for another day now? Again, he's not trying to make it seem like they're making the transition to Trey. He's going to give Trey probably the start because Jimmy's hurt and give Trey an opportunity to take it. The whole thing is you don't want to give the job to the kid. He has to take it. Okay, here's an opportunity right here. And if it doesn't go well, you'll get another opportunity. I mean, it's Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, come on. maybe not right away. And maybe that's, the right thing for this team. I don't know. I don't think so, but I could understand a coach feeling that way. It's a very tight-knit team, and they're very reluctant to change. The Jedi says Kyle must embrace the chaos, period. Thank you, Jedi. It's over for Jittery if Trey does the upset. Oh, my God, dude.
Of course it is, yes.
Yeah, of course it is. Trent Williams is also a Trey guy. I can tell. He can tell. Seth, appreciate you. All right, we did that. All right, let's talk about Lance. Does he have a serious issue with mechanics, in your opinion?
Let me pull this over onto my screen so I can read it here. because of course, there we go. So a lot of people have been reaching out and asking if his throwing motion seems elongated, because there was a play where he got the ball batted down, and certainly that play, his throwing motion seemed really elongated. And I've had other people reaching out and saying when he's going to throw, he's dipping the ball below his elbow, and they wonder if that's an issue. And technically, I know that the ball below the elbow is certainly an issue. And so what did I do? I just reached out to his QB coach and asked him. I sent him a picture of the ball below the elbow, and I said, I noticed that all game this was happening. Is this an issue? And coach responded very quickly. He said, ideally, like perfect mechanics, you never want the ball to drop below the elbow. So by definition, it is certainly an inefficiency, but nothing that cannot be overcome by the acceleration of the arm, quickly controlling the front side of the throw. So he's saying if you have quick arm acceleration, you can overcome the ball dropping below the elbow. And then I said, well, do you think that this is a mechanics thing, or is this because he's hesitating? And he said it certainly can be caused by hesitation, but he doesn't necessarily believe that that's where it's from. But he also said, if you just do a quick Google search, and then he sent me a couple pictures of Lawrence and Mahomes doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So he's basically saying, if you're a strong arm quarterback, chances are you may have this little hitch in your giddy up, but it's not the worst because you can fire through it and make up for it on the front end or the back end of the throw, I guess.
I don't think it's an issue. I think he actually gets the ball out quick enough for his arm strength. I think he gets it out way quicker than Colin Kaepernick ever did. I'd like to just see him throw with a spiral. Could we get a spiral?
Yeah,
like I like the way he I don't have a problem with his release, his time. Like, just there's got to be some tweak he can make. Got to. And if Sean McAvoy or Quincy Avery don't have the exact answer, maybe someone in the world has to have an answer here, because it seems like it's got to be an easy fix. I mean,
for sure,
got to be an easy fix, and that's probably something he would probably address maybe between years 1 and 2. Maybe not right now. Other than that, I like the way he throws. I have no problem with the way he throws a ball. He's never going to be like Justin Herbert throwing a ball, but Justin Herbert can't run like him. They're different players.
Right.
I like his skill set. I think he's a hell of a player. LeBron James clearly agrees. Says he reminds him of himself, but at quarterback, which is really the highest praise you could get. Thank you, LeBron.
Yeah, gosh, man. Don't you have a season to be getting ready for, LeBron? You got some time?
Yeah, he's got some time. He's a big fan of the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
As is Adam Garcia. Matt M caught Jimmy in a lie about his contusion. What's really going on? He's not Team Niners anymore. He's Team Jimmy. Time to move on. He caught him in a lie? I missed that. I was in the room. What was the lie?
Adam. Maybe he's just saying that Kyle is contradicting, and so he believes Kyle.
I don't know. Possible. It seems to me that if a coach is talking about a player's injury and a player's talking about a player's injury, I would usually go with the guy who's injured. But it's a different culture than the one Jim Harbaugh put together. He was very particular about that because he was a player. Kyle, coach is coach. Different.
Yep.
Career coach.
And of course, Jimmy is definitely about himself.
Why don't you, LeBron? We would all like you to do that.
Yeah, the 49ers could use a ring right about now.
Yeah, you're being selfish by not playing football for the 49ers. Ninerbot says, I can see Trey end up like Josh Allen, similar build, speed, and great arm. Just needs time for mechanics like Allen did his first 2 years were trash. Yeah, and another, like, the thing about Allen, that's a great comparison. Everyone always compares Lance to Mahomes. Like, well, Mahomes sat on the bench for a while. It worked out for him. Okay, well, Allen played. Would Allen be who he is right now had he sat on the bench the first 2 years? I don't think so. I think he needed those. I think he needed that playing time.
I agree. I agree with that. And, I actually heard Jack bring this up on your show, and it made me think. Jack always makes me think. He's so freaking smart. But
I know.
He's like, well, I know it does piss me off because he always has a good rebuttal. I'm like, all right, let me think about this. Yeah. So he says, well, he's already sat once. He did it from high school to college, and he came out and won the FCS Heisman, went undefeated, played about as good as you could. And I thought about it, but I guess my rebuttal to that would be McAvoy, QB coach, told us that whole redshirt season, that he was taking snaps every practice as if he was the starter. So the way that they do it at for the Bison is they have both quarterbacks get in, they run every single play in practice all the way through, both quarterbacks. So he was doing that the whole year off, which is a lot different than running
Big
scout
difference.
team. Yeah.
Big
And
difference.
also he didn't miss his senior year of high school before not playing that first year like he has this year. So those are the two differences.
2021 redraft, who would you pick at 3? Would you still trade up? Great question. Who would I pick at 3? Lance.
Yeah.
Would I still
Lance
trade
is
up?
the right guy.
I never would have. I never would have. And here's why. I think that I love the rookie quarterback loophole. I talk about it all, like this is the best way to win. But I don't think trading up for the guy is the way to do it. I don't think giving up first round picks is the way to do it. I like Lance, but look at the teams that really pull it off. They don't trade up. They kind of let it come to them. Unless I know they trade up
like a couple
trading
spots.
Up to 3, that's rich.
Yeah.
It's very, very rich. Like the Chiefs traded up, it costed them what? A first and a third? Like didn't take that first 2. I don't know. It wasn't that expensive. This is more. So he's cheap, but he's also expensive. I don't think I ever would have done that. You know, you could have taken Mac Jones. You could have taken Justin Fields. You could have taken Kellen Mond. You could have waited till next year. Maybe I'm wrong on this one. It just seems like historically trading up into the top 3 is not worked out. I don't know. What do you think?
I probably wouldn't have traded up that far either. I would have let the draft come to me, and I would have been willing during the draft to trade up a spot or two if need be to get the guy.
Right.
But if you're going to trade to 3, then yes, Trey Lance is 100% the right pick. Yes.
The thing about Lance is it's a total mystery where he would have went if the Niners had taken him. It's a total mystery. Some people think the Falcons would have taken him. I don't think so. But who knows? He may have dropped to 12. Who knows? We'll never know. Juan Jimenez, thank you very much. Seth says, Juszczyk is also Team Trey. Grant, you're too nice to Kyle with the questions today. Jesse, Grant, you guys get ready for Trey versus Justin on Halloween.
I would love that. You're going to be at that game, aren't you?
I did. I'm happy with Kyle because he's going to start Trey Lance this week. You guys need to chill. He's doing the right thing. He's going to do the right thing this week. He's 2-2. He's going to start Trey Lance. You guys just don't see it. Abyss07007 says, if Kyle wants, he can create a good game plan for Trey Lance. He did it with Nick Mullins, but Kyle doesn't show any enthusiasm with Trey. He was enthusiastic about Trey today. The thing after the game, when I asked him, like, what do you think of Trey's first extended? He's like, some good, some bad. I was like,
dude, can you ever just...
But today, it was all very positive about Trey Lance. It seems like he's kind of realized that it's time. And that's, they got to, you got to embrace it, man. So let's see what happens here. Let's give Kyle the benefit of the doubt for like a week until the bye week. Because I think he's going to do the right thing. Like Spike Lee. Matt H says, we're not winning the division. 2-4 in the West and 8-4, 8-3 outside the division. AFC South and NFC North stinks. Playoffs 10-7 seems reasonable. We're going to talk about our reasonable expectations in a minute. We're getting there, and we're going to dedicate it to you. Adam says Kyle needs to consult Urban Meyer on how to generate some offense. He seems to score on and off the field. Adam, thank you. Thank you. That was wonderful. Gammon says, when will Garoppolo lose the locker room? He gets an owie and a sideline. He tosses a hospital ball to Kittle, almost loses his leg, and gets back in the field. He threw one to Deebo as well. Interesting question. It definitely seems like Kyle Shanahan is downplaying the injury while Jimmy's saying it's serious or more serious. It's so new to me. You don't see these things. NFL teams are always, they have one voice, one story. This team, they're constantly contradicting themselves. And I love that. Thank you.
All the time they're contradicting. Maybe I heard it wrong. Grant, you can correct me. But I swear I heard after the game on Sunday, Kyle said something along the lines of he wasn't quite ready to call plays for Trey. He wasn't ready for him to play. And so that's why they started out with the runs.
Right. But then later they didn't make the change until the end of halftime. Right. If they'd done it at the beginning of halftime, they could have scripted a drive, but they didn't. That's what they said.
So that's contradiction number one, because Deebo said he found out while he was in the locker room. So that's
True.
not the end. So that's one. The other thing is, but he also said,
tell us the truth. I'm sorry.
Right. He also said that Trey, as a backup, should always be ready to go. So hold on. You weren't ready to call plays for him, but he should be ready to go. Got it, coach. Thanks. That's a great way to pump up the Rook.
So in terms of this Garoppolo thing, look, you're assuming that it's just a bruise. He said it's not just a bruise. He said it's a strain. Calf strain sounds like Achilles strain. Calf strain sounds like what Kevin Durant had the week before he popped his Achilles. I'd be scared too. So I'm not taking sides here. I am not taking sides. We don't know. All I know is that it's very interesting that there is a difference of opinion, and the 49ers are trying to be like, hey, man, it's just a bruise. Why don't you – like, they're saying it with a straight face, but if you really think about it, they're being like, you better play.
Yeah.
Freaking bruise, dude.
Right.
And Jimmy's like, it really hurts.
I wouldn't be worried about Garoppolo losing the locker room. I'd be worried about Shanahan losing the locker room.
Thank you. Inexperienced GM trading up, could have got him at 12. Bad draft in the top of the draft, but the rookie is too inexperienced. They traded up for Mac Jones. Okay. And then they had to be talked out of it. Like, this would be the most unpopular. Mac Jones I like Mac Jones. He's cool. He's not the kind of quarterback I would want to build around, but he's actually good at what he does. But he would have been available at 12. So good thing you didn't trade up to 3 for someone who would have been there at 12. I mean, my God.
Yeah, I mean, again, I wholeheartedly believe that Lance would not have been there at 12. I really do not think so.
Probably not.
I don't believe so. So,
Sherman, the injury is likely B. It's a manufactured opportunity for Trey to take the job before the trade deadline. I smell a backroom deal.
Could be.
You think that this is all a fake injury? If it were, and it's not, there would be a coordinated story. There would be one story. If you're all lying to the police, and we're the police here, you get your story straight. They can't even get their story straight, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This seems like Jimmy's being like, guys, this is a real injury. The Niners being like, no, it's not. No. And if it is, I don't care. Like, you need to play. If you get hurt worse, well, we have your replacement. Good for us. We planned ahead. You're screwed, of course, but we're good. Jordan says, who is guarding D-Hop, AJ Green, Kirk, and Rondale? I mean, that's why I'm not picking the Niners. God, this team's so stacked.
It's not about that. There's other ways to win this game, but that's definitely a concern.
Dude, Michael Miller, when did you become the most angry, hateful person ever?
Listen, hold on a second. Is it lowercase Michael Miller or capital letters?
Man. Like, why are you so mad all the time, Michael? We used to be cool.
Anyway. Because there's a guy that is going around. He was in my chat and
he's
parading like he was my with the same avatar and everything. Cool. So I don't.
What happened to Michael?
Yeah, I don't know if it's this.
Anyway, all right. Lucas says Cardinals have not played a mobile quarterback. We could expose their defense this week if Kyle makes a good game plan. Good luck stopping the Cards. Oh, though. Yeah, you can't stop that. But, yeah, I like Trey Lance gives the Niners a chance. That's cool. And his name rhymes with chance, which makes it even cooler.
That's fantastic.
Joshua says this is for being awesome. Thank you, Josh. I like that. You know that Jesus' name was actually Joshua?
Yeah.
It's true.
Yep.
Did you know that Jesus was actually Jewish? Everyone knows that. I just like to rep it. Because we don't have that many. You know what I'm saying? Got to rep.
But it was with a Y, wasn't it? Isn't that how he spelled it? I thought it was like.
Well, I mean, it was
Yahweh.
So, yeah, it would have been Yeshua. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yes. And Jesus is that's Latin. That's a Latin. Yeah, absolutely. LeBron says the Niners need me as GM. You're a terrible general manager, LeBron. Have you heard of floor spacing shooting? Have you heard of it? Your fault that you can't win. What are you doing?
LeBron, aren't you a multimillionaire? I feel like you can step up the super chat to at least a $5 bill.
If Lance isn't ready to start this week, shouldn't the vet Nate Sudfeld start? Oh,
God,
that's cold. If Lance had started against Seattle, would they have won?
Yes, if he had started all season. If he had just started and been thrown in that game, no, probably not. But if he had been playing since week 1.
If he had started all season, they'd probably...
I think they'd be 3-1.
I mean, they might be 3-1. They might be 2-2. And the fact that they'd probably have at least the same record means that he should have been starting the whole time.
Yep.
Should have been starting the whole time. The whole Garoppolo nostalgia thing was understandable, but a little unfortunate. A little unfortunate in retrospect.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy. I do like Jimmy, but this is professional sports. Aren't we past that? Like the, feel good stories? Come on.
You would think.
Johnny says there's no proof Kyle wanted Mac Jones. Got it. Okay. Hey, whatever you want, whatever makes you feel good as a 49ers fan. I'm with you. I'm not trying to change your mind. Who is to blame on the development of the quarterback? Kyle or quarterback coach? Why was Lance not ready? Why has Jimmy digressed? When Trey Lance goes, now he could look great in this game, but when he goes in there and really looks like he doesn't know where to go with the ball 80% of the time, that's a reflection on the coaches. What have you been doing with him? North Dakota State was running through these things with their backup quarterbacks. I know you don't have time for that, but there's a Tuesday. There's no practice on a Tuesday. Why don't you, Rich Gangarello, go run through the whole game plan from the week before? I mean, Nick Mullins used to do it by himself. Remember that?
Yep.
How about you, Rich? Go out there on a Tuesday and do something. And I've been talking about this for a while. The Niners have a subpar quarterback coach. How do you know he's subpar? No one else wants him. No other team would hire Rich Scangarello as their quarterback coach other than the Niners. Mike Shanahan had Gary Kubiak as his quarterback coach. Hell of a coach. Kyle, where's your Gary Kubiak? You don't have him.
Yeah, who has Scangarello ever developed? Who has Kyle ever developed?
Jimmy.
Like, this is...
Remember, Jimmy came here. Scangarello got him ready for those 5 games when Jimmy was basically playing on instinct and got an OC job off of that.
I know he did, yeah.
And failed in a year, got fired in a year. Now he's back because no one else freaking wants him. So, Kyle, you got a great running back coach, great tight end coach, great linebacker coach, great D-line coach. How about quarterback's pretty important? Lucky Luis, here's the theory. Maybe all our quarterbacks and running backs are getting hurt because of our undersized interior offensive line.
Or maybe they're just injury-prone players.
Yeah, maybe there's that. Maybe that's that. Casey Colt says, having forced a turnover in 3 games, starting 2 remind me of 2018 defense that had a record low in turnovers. D is better than O, but got to force turnovers. It's agree. A man coverage defense. It's hard to intercept passes when your back is to the quarterback. That's a big reason teams use zone coverage is to get the interceptions up.
Teams that have been doing really good the last few years seem to be teams that are really explosive offenses with opportunistic defenses. They may not be the best defenses, but they're going to force a turnover or 2, and that's just enough to get the ball back to their offense and allow their offense to outscore the other team.
Also, another thing that kills me, like people are like, why aren't the Niners getting more interceptions? What can they do to get more interceptions? Maybe they're going to need better cornerbacks. What? How is this not a symptom of not addressing the cornerback position? Like, you've got Dre Kirkpatrick, who's been on the team for 2 weeks, and freaking Emmanuel Mosley, I actually like Emmanuel Mosley, but like, and you're surprised? What?
Right.
Also, side note, how bad must Ambry Thomas be if there's like 8 dudes off the street who the Niners feel more comfortable playing than him? Like, if Dre Kirkpatrick got hurt this week, they'd find some other guy off the street that they'd play over Ambry Thomas. How bad is that guy? Why is he on the team?
Man. I don't know. I feel like they drafted this whole class to be redshirted. The whole class was supposed to be redshirted.
Good plan. Good plan. Raymond says, thank you for the entertainment, fellas. Why is there conspiracy for an injury occurring to Jimmy Garoppolo? I just look.
He's always injured, right?
I'm like, if it's not true, he's going to tell me. But he's like over here being like, no, it's worse than they're saying. It's worse than they're saying. To me, the Niners are trying to be like, he's not really hurt. And Jimmy's like, excuse me? What? Thanks, guys. Thanks for having my back once again. I really appreciate it. Okay. What are your expectations for the 49ers now after seeing how the first 4 games unfolded?
Okay, so off the cuff, just asking me this, I would say that they're probably not a playoff team. Like, we've got to remove even those expectations. But I went through the schedule today, Grant, and I know this sounds a little bit crazy thinking about it, but even if they lose this game and they're 2-3 going into the bye week, they have the Colts at home, and then they play Chicago. I think both of those can be wins. Even though they're not the best team in the division, or they may not be as good as any teams in this division, I feel like that doesn't look like Michael Miller's avatar. I feel like they can get some wins in the division regardless, right? Divisional games are always tough. So when I went back and looked at it, they legitimately can still win 11 games, even if they start 2-3. You look at that schedule and it sets up to be a possible 11-win team. Realistically, I would say 10 games, but they should win at least 10. I still expect 10 wins from this team, even if they lose this week.
I can see it if they make the transition to Trey Lance now. If Trey Lance plays really well against Arizona and takes the job and is the starter after the bye, this team has potential. But if he's not ready and he struggles against Arizona and they have to go back to the Jimmy Garoppolo offense, this team isn't going anywhere. Like Jimmy's doing an admirable job when he's not hurt, but whatever that structure is that works around, it's not good enough. It's mediocre when he's at his best. So it's not good enough. If they can get Trey Lance and he can actually start playing like, a good quarterback, start improving, then yeah, absolutely. And I know like he can turn the ball over less than Jimmy. He can run better than Jimmy. He can help the running game better than Jimmy. If he can just be functional as a passer and give you a few big plays, like your offense is way better right now. Way better. And if he could just give you that now, what could he give you in 2 months? He could improve. So I was down on this team. When the schedule came out, I saw it 11 wins tops. And then they didn't give Trey a real chance to take the job. I'm like, 10. And then Jason Verrett and Raheem Mostert went down week 1. I'm like, oh, man, 9.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, maybe if Trey Lance can be ready and be good, this team could be back at 10 or 11. Mm-hmm. But there's also a scenario where Jimmy misses a lot of time. Trey isn't ready, and this team wins 6 games, which is fun. Yeah. I think we're all looking forward to that. But no, my expectations are guardedly, cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
Optimistic.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, that's assuming they lose this week. I'm still saying that.
Assuming 49ers miss the playoffs, says Jed fire Lynch and give Kyle full control of personnel. That would be a mistake.
God, that's a disaster.
That would be a disaster. The worst thing Jed could do. So probably, I think that's what he's going to do. Yeah. Someone call Terrell Brown and see what he's doing. How about Dion? How about Carlos Rogers?
You said Asante Samuel Sr. earlier. That's not a bad play.
What do the Niners have to do to pull off this upset? They're 5-point dogs.
Okay, so there's 3 things that I think are super important in this game. 1, Arizona is not the best team against the run. They have trouble stopping the run. So you have to establish the run game. Somebody said it earlier. How are you going to guard all these wide receivers? Well, you're probably not going to. But if you keep them sidelined, the best defense is a ball control offense in this situation. So you have to run the ball. That's number 1. Number 2 is you have to nullify the pass rush. You look at the game plan that the Eagles pulled off and the Packers pulled off against the 49ers. They did a great job of getting rid of the ball quickly and stretching the field horizontally. The Niners have to do that through the pass game, especially with Trey Lance, because Trey Lance can make those throws outside the numbers. So those are the 2 keys to victory. But the X factor for me is Kyle freaking Shanahan. Can he actually dial up that game plan? Because right now, to me, I have those questions about Kyle. This has been, in my opinion, his worst coaching season as a head coach and play caller for the 49ers.
Agree. I'm going to talk about the defense because you just handled the other side very well. Eric Armstead, dude. I always talk about Eric Armstead. People think I'm too hard on him, but he makes 7-point mistakes weekly. Last week, he gave up a touchdown scramble to Russell Wilson that was like a layup. I mean, it was a 16-yard scramble. It was easy, and it was all Armstead's fault. And he does this stuff routinely. Maybe he just doesn't have the skill set to play defensive end against a quarterback like that. I think that's probably what it is. What's he supposed to do? He's not athletic enough to contain these quarterbacks on the edge. So don't ask him to. Because if you ask him to, he's going to burn you. And it may not be, Kyler's going to burn you. Armstead's going to burn you. It may not be every play, but the one play where it burns you, it'll be a crucial first down when it was 3rd and 18 or a touchdown. So don't let that freaking happen. You brought in Samson Ebukam specifically to contain quarterbacks like this because he's not a pass rusher. I don't know. You're not paying him to rush the quarterback. You're paying him to contain a guy like Kyler Murray. So let him do it. Don't freaking put Eric Armstead in a position to screw this game up.
But he's dealing with a hamstring, isn't he? Ebukam, is he going to play?
That's a really good point.
But
it's going to be a hard one, guys. If they pull off this win,
yeah.
I was talking to writers down. I'm not going to name names, but there's people thinking the Niners are going to win this game. I'm like, have you watched Arizona? I don't think anyone watches Arizona. I think that's what it is. They're kind of a small market team. They're not on like CBS in the morning. You don't really see them, but they're really good. And they've been bad for a while.
People laughed at me when I said they were going to finish second in the division. So I know that they laughed at you when you said that they were going to not only finish first, but they might go to the Super Bowl. But how does that look now? It looks really good.
There's like a team site for every team. Yeah. And even the Arizona Cardinals guy didn't pick them. I picked the Cardinals to go to the Super Bowl this year. And it was so outrageous that they like wrote to me like, can you explain? Can you give us like 500 words writing? I'm like, okay. Kyler Murray was the MVP frontrunner last year before he got hurt. Look at all the additions. They added Rodney Hudson, J.J. Watt, A.J. Green, Rondale Moore. What am I missing? What am I missing? They had a top 5. I think they had the 6th ranked offense last year. They're good. I just think people aren't paying attention. But anyway, I don't cover the Cardinals, and I don't really care if they win or lose. I just like being right.
Yeah. What did that last one say? I don't think you read it.
Oh, I didn't get it. My bad. Oh. Anyone who watches MMA knows how devastating calf kicks are.
Yes.
The nerves are superficial, and 5 good kicks will paralyze your lower leg for 2 weeks. So a 300-pound man with cleats can cause similar damage.
It wasn't cleats, though. Just to be clear, it was a knee. It was a knee.
That's what Jimmy said. Juan says 6-11 if Invisible Man Eric Armstead is the starting D end. If Gilmore got traded for a 6th round, does that mean that Eric is worth the 7th? Yeah.
I think he's worth more than that. You know what, though, Grant? You know what? I was looking at his contract the other day, and they have outs, I think, starting next year, where if they cut him or if they trade him after June 1st, so somehow trade him, he would only count for like $7 million against the cap.
Do it. Do it.
Yeah.
I like that. I still think the Niners split the whole division. Well, that'd be big. That would be big time. Big time. They should start by winning this weekend. Do Norman and Kirkpatrick both start? No. Mosley's a hell of a player.
Mosley has to start.
I like Mosley. He just really went head-to-head with Metcalf and held his own.
Kirkpatrick actually didn't look bad either, though. Like, he didn't look horrible.
Who?
He was flying around. Kirkpatrick?
Yeah, Kirkpatrick did look good until he that just brutal pass interference penalty on 3rd and 10.
That was that.
Other than that,
yeah.
That's the thing about corners and offensive linemen. They're very similar, man. Like, they could just be money all game, and then that one play, and you're like, well, we got to replace you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're the 2 positions that you don't want to hear about throughout a game.
That's why they're the 2 most important positions. The Niners are all about receivers and D-line. I'm like, man, you can get those guys. They're important.
Yeah.
But what's harder to find? Receivers or corners? O-line or D-line? You know it's harder to find O-line. And they tried. They went 2nd round O-line this year. It's hard. You can't be discouraged when you miss because you're going to miss.
Yep.
Can you please use the Kyle Bananahan name when it's warranted? Seriously, that is trademarkable. It's amazing. Thank you. I try.
It is good. It's really good. Somebody's got to make a shirt. Somebody really good actually should be able to at least edit Kyle into a banana. I think that'd be hilarious.
I think I don't know what it's from. The Afghanistan Bananistan. Where is that from? It's from a book. Was it Elmore Leonard? I don't know what it was.
I don't know.
I don't have any original ideas. I steal everything. When I was after the game, when I started walking around, I was realizing I was channeling Pinky from Next Friday. Pinky when he runs in on Ice Cube and he thinks robbing his store and he's like asking him questions, but then when Ice Cube tries to answer him, he tells him to shut up, and then Ice Cube keeps trying to talk and he gets so mad he starts walking around the store. I think I was Pinky in that moment. So thank you. Pinky. That was a great performance. And next Friday.
It's funny because you've called yourself the Puff Daddy of 49ers Twitter earlier, and that's because you put people on, but also Puff Daddy plagiarized a lot. So there is that in common.
That's true. And Puff Daddy, he never paid anyone either. God, sorry. He should have. He had record deals. I went to the Bad Boy reunion tour though, like 4 years ago at the Oakland Coliseum.
Was it
a lot of fun. Black Rob was there.
Yeah, like whoa.
Mace came.
That's the only song he has, right? Like, whoa, what else was there from Black Rob?
It was that. Actually, that's the biggest charting song in Bad Boy history. That is the biggest hit in Bad Boy history, and he has a bunch of songs that were slept on. Black Rob was great. Rest in peace. I don't want to hear anything about Black Rob. Harlem.
Slow down, Mace. You're killing him.
Can the D-line's performance against the Seahawks in the first half be consistent throughout the year? I mean,
sure.
The Seahawks didn't have the Seahawks offensive line is putrid, and they didn't have their starting right tackle, their backup right tackle. So I wouldn't expect that every game, but it's they can do close to that.
The problem is other teams game plan to get the ball out of their hands quick. Seattle had a lot of long developing plays that made Russ sit back there. So
True.
It really comes down to what the offense is doing.
Ken Bone. What's up, Ken? Kyle has mailed in the season after he was told he couldn't have Mac Jones, and his decision-making is terrible at the best of times. I could see why you would think that. It does you already said it's his worst coaching year of the year. I think we're all being like, yo, where is the creativity? And another way of putting it is, why are you mailing it in? So it's only week 5. Maybe it's going to be shock and awe this week with Trey Lance, just boom, boom, all over the field. So if it's not, though, I'm with you, Ken. I've been noticing the same thing, but it's a little early to say that. But I've been noticing.
Yeah.
Seen Mac Jones games and not impressed. Yeah, he's not the kind of guy I would build my whole team around, but he's definitely the kind of guy that freaking Kyle Shanahan would or Bill Belichick would.
The only difference between Mac Jones and Jimmy is Mac Jones has taken more shots downfield. But here's the problem. I think he's thrown like 17 balls beyond 20 yards, and he's only completed 4, and he's thrown 2 picks. So he tries, but he can't do it.
But again, if you're a control freak as a coach, he's your kind of quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Because
of course he is.
Execute. He'll give you nothing more than what you have given him. I don't want that quarterback because I can't be correct 100% of the time. Kyle can't be correct 100% of the time. You need someone to bail you out. The other 30%, 40%. Hey, Grant, Niners fans are so divisive. Why do you think it's cheering on Lance means rooting against Jimmy and vice versa? I just develop emotional attachments. All I'm saying is if Trey Lance goes out there and tears it up this Sunday, no one's going to care about Jimmy anymore. He'll be a thing of the past. It's on Trey. Trey just hasn't, done that performance yet to rally the entire fan base behind him. He's young. He will eventually, or he won't. But I think
they tried to give him a chance to rip it away from Jimmy against the Chargers, and it didn't happen. And now this is his second chance at it.
Good point. What is a respectable performance from Lance Sunday that can give us something to look forward to the rest of the season? Competing in the game. If he throws 3 picks, that's okay. Zach Wilson did that. Don't get blown out. Don't go in a shell. Don't lose confidence. Take it down to the wire. If you can go down to the end with this team, because I don't expect – it's not like they're going to win with Jimmy. They would have to you're probably going to lose with either quarterback. So can you make this a competitive game? Because I don't know that Jimmy could, even healthy Jimmy. This is a really freaking good Cardinals team. I'm trying to make that clear. Adjust your expectations accordingly here. These guys just really ruined the Rams, who are better than the Niners. So what are the expectations here? If Trey can keep it competitive, that's a great sign. In his first start, that's a great sign.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as he competes the whole game. Here's the thing. Justin Fields looked so bad. In that first start he had, you realize that the Bears offense had negative passing yards because he threw for 60 yards, but they had so many sacks that they had -4 passing yards for a game. Yeah. It looked as bad as it could get. But then he recovered really well this week. So it has nothing to do with the performance. Is there flashes And does he compete and try the whole time? Does he keep his head up? That's what I'm looking for.
I hear you. All right, let's go on to the last part. Score prediction. What you got?
I think the Cardinals are going to win this one 31-23. But I don't think it's necessarily going to be that close. Like the Niners might score late, kind of like they did last week to make it look closer. I think the Cardinals, unfortunately, run away with this one.
Sounds good. I'd like to think that Trey Lance could get the score a little higher. But yeah, that sounds about right. This is going to be really hard. It's a tough way to make your first start. And honestly, I don't really like it. The idea is of just let Jimmy Garoppolo start and then he'll get hurt and then you'll bring in Trey Lance eventually.
Yeah.
Week 1 and 2 against Detroit and Philly was just such a great way to get a young guy, some confidence under his belt early. Now you give him his first start probably against Arizona. Hey, maybe
without his left tackle,
maybe this will be his statement. Maybe this way you can't say, well, it was just Detroit or Jimmy would have done even better. I don't know. This is going to be cool. Even if they lose, the season's not over. It's a very interesting diagnostic, and they're going to have to figure out what direction they want to take with their team at the bye and go forward. Because to me, this team still hasn't established an identity.
No,
hasn't. So that's what they have to figure out the bye week. What are we? Are we Trey? Or are we not Trey? Yet.
Yeah. I also think this, Grant, a lot of people, myself included, were a little upset about an early bye week. This bye week could not be at a more perfect time with the injuries and players that are set to come back, the quarterback situation being in flux. This bye week is at the perfect time.
Hearing anything on a possible trade for cornerback Dantzler of the Vikings? Thoughts on Dantzler as a player? Well, I mean, look, with Gilmore gone, it seems like this was the one guy connected to the Niners. If it goes down to the trade deadline, they want someone. This would be the guy I would think they would get. Yeah. But I don't know if they need it. I mean, Mosley looks okay. What's his name? Fitzpatrick looks okay. Norman looks okay. They probably won't. Won't.
Yeah, the thing is that they may not need it now, but next year it would be nice to have him, Lenore, Ambry, if he ever does anything, and Mosley. That'd be a nice 4.
Johnny says Lance starts equals win. Jimmy G starts equals loss.
I don't know if it's that simple, man.
That's a high expectation for a 21-year-old making his first start. We'll see.
I'm the biggest Lance guy in the world.
Lance, but I really like Kyler Murray. I'm just saying, like, if Trey Lance could be what Kyler Murray is one day, wow, that would be something else.
Yeah, it would be. It really would be. Yeah. But no, I'm the biggest Lance guy, and I don't think it's that simple. I think they lose either way, but we'll see.
Yeah. Jesse, I got to go get some dinner. But before we do, we need to address what happened with Jesse last night. This was awful. And I don't know who did this, but Jesse and I, a lot of us, we do call-in shows. And I never really thought of the risk before, but there's a risk. This is our livelihood. We make money off of this and support our families. And we just bring people on the show out of the kindness of our heart. And we have no idea who these people are. And on my show, everyone's always been utterly respectful and great. And on Jesse's too, but last night something crazy happened.
Yeah, man. So doing a call-in show, it was a great call-in show. It was like 3 hours long. Had a Javi from Twitter call in. It was going great, man. I had a lot of the normals, but a couple times people will call in that you don't recognize, and you're taking a chance. And usually what I try to do is I have them show their face while they're backstage. Like, you got to show me something. And I actually kicked a couple people out that were not unwilling to do that. Mm-hmm. And, I was able to get him to show his face. So thinking we're good. He waited for about 30 minutes and brought him on. And as soon as he came on the screen, he turns on his camera and it's like explicit content, picture of explicit content. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I immediately boot him. I apologize to everybody. I continue the show. And as soon as the show's done, I'm like, I got to get that out of here. So I go to edit it on YouTube, and I'm in the middle of editing and it just keeps freezing and freezing and freezing. I'm like, what's going on? So I pull up my phone to check YouTube on there, and it's like, this account doesn't exist.
Oh no.
I check my email and they deleted my account for the explicit content. And they said that they will delete an account if you have excessive behavior, something that they've warned you about a lot and you continue to do it, or if you are over the top one time, basically with behavior, which explicit content certainly falls under that. So my guess is this person who did this not only did that, but they reported it immediately so that this would happen. And so right now I'm in the middle of appealing it. I will hear back hopefully by tomorrow, but it could be, as late as next week. And just crossing my fingers that they're able to bring the channel back. If not, I gotta start over. So
I was really shaken up by it last night. It's terrible news for Jesse, but it's also really scary for all of us. I do the Cohn phone every Saturday. I gotta not do it anymore. I gotta change it because everyone's always so great, but one person could mess it up, and then if my channel were deleted, my family. So I don't think I'm gonna do the Cohn phone this weekend. I'm gonna have to figure out some type of different way to do it. I'm really sorry, but I didn't anticipate these things evolving this way, but I guess it was coming.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate. Who knows where it came from? Who cares? But, I'm keeping my head up either way, whether I got to restart or I get my channel back, everything will be fine and I will keep it moving one way or another. But, definitely I'll tell you what, I was up till 4 a.m. and had to be up at 6. And, I was upset last night for sure. I'll just say that. So
I'm really sorry that happened. I was upset too. You'll either get it back or you'll have another one with all your followers back real soon.
Yeah.
So, it's just a speed bump, but I'm really sorry that people do stuff like this because we're all very trusting in our community. And I think we have to stop. It sucks.
It does.
Really was fun the last couple. I met you through the Cohn phone. I met a lot of people through the Cohn phone. And, end of an era. You almost always have to appeal twice. Good to know.
Great.
Good to know. Don't give up on it.
Yeah, I won't.
All right, everyone. It's dinner time for me. It's bedtime for Jesse. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow. I got you, Jesse. YouTube is full of yup. It really is.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, guys.
Protect ourselves a little bit better, but we'll figure out a way to get call-ins back. We can always do it audio only or with Discord. There's things we can do.
For sure.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Be back tomorrow. See ya.